welcome back. Today we're going to do these super easy chocolate sails. These are perfect for beginners, anybody can make these, and you don't need any specialist equipment either. I'm just going to show you briefly where it ended up. It ended up on this cute 6-inch pepper themed cake. I actually broke mine up a little bit and used them more in shards than I did in a full sail, but you could do it either way. It's completely up to you. I jabbed mine straight into my cake because obviously it's food safe, because it's chocolate. But you could attach it to popsicle sticks if you wanted to give it more height or durability. It depends how far it's going, etc. And obviously just making sure that you're letting your clients know that obviously it is chocolate and not to put it near heat, etc. This one was a 6-inch ganache covered cake, no fondant apart from some of the decorations. So let's get started. So I'm using some Perspex discs because I have them to hand, and some paper clips. You could use a chopping board or a cutting mat, things like that. I'm using some Trex, that is like, in America, I think you call it like crystals or something. I know I've got quite a few American followers, and just some greaseproof paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to concertina the greaseproof paper ready for when we put our chocolate on. I'm using candy melts for mine, just because you don't have to temper them. And I'm just showing you here that we're going to angle it outwards so it's like a fan. So we're not doing straight lines or bending towards each other. We want them bent away from each other so that we've got that gap at the top and closer together at the bottom. And that'll give us our nice fan shape when it's made. So yeah, I'm using candy melts. I have this conversation all the time. Don't come at me for using candy melts. I don't like tempering chocolate. There's no such thing as real, in air quotes, white chocolate. All white chocolate is fake. It's not made with any chocolate, it's made with fats. So there's no difference, and candy melts are just so much easier to melt and use. So I'm using candy melts. I've melted mine on a double boiler, which is where you use a pan of hot water that doesn't touch the bowl. And then I find this way the candy melts stay softer for longer. They don't start to set because the bowl's warm, so it's keeping them melted without overheating them, and you do it really gently and you get this nice consistency. I've also put this is 100 grams of candy melts, and I've put 2 tablespoons of Trex in this just to melt them down and thin them out a bit, because they do melt quite thick and I want them to be a bit runnier for what I want to do. So I've coloured them with some fat dispersible colours. I use Colour Mill. And then we're literally just going to spread them out on the paper. I try to use a spatula as little as possible because I want a more natural, softened edge. And if you use a spatula, you find that you can get sharper edges on it and things like that. So I'm literally, where you can see on the right hand side here, I'm literally going to use the spatula just to smooth that out while it's still really soft. And then it'll spread out again and we'll get our nice fan shape. And then using those lines that we previously made, we're going to just fold them back up and then pop our paper clips on. And our paper clips are going to help hold the shape while it's in the fridge. You can leave it out to dry at room temperature, but harden at room temperature, but take them much longer. You'll probably need to leave it overnight for definitely a good few hours, depending on your climate. Obviously, if you live in a hot climate, you need to take that into consideration. I'm in England, so not much chance of that here, save for maybe 5 days of the year. But I'm going to pop mine in the fridge just to set them quickly. And then just bear in mind that if you leave them in the fridge for too long, they will condensate when you take them back out. So you need to account for that. I actually made mine the day before I needed to use them, just so I had them ready. Obviously, you can make them in advance and just store them in an airtight container. I'd probably pop them on some greaseproof paper and gently wrap them if you can, just to keep them fresher. And I decorated mine with a little bit of gold lustre as well, which I haven't actually shown on this video because I was literally just thought, I need to make some chocolate sails for this cake. I know what, I'm going to make a video for YouTube and pop it on there for you guys. But yeah, I think this is a really easy technique, but I'm doing this in real time, by the way, which is why I'm jabbering loads. But if you're not new here, then you know that I do that. So that's the first one. I'm going to pop that in the fridge. It only takes about 10-15 minutes to harden up in the fridge. And then the second one, we're just going in again. Like I say, I used 100 grams of candy melts, which was more than enough to make these 2 sails. I actually had a little bit left over. And then I popped a little bit of Trex in it. It's just a vegetable fat. You could use vegetable oil if you wanted to, but you wouldn't need as much. Basically whatever you have to hand, and whatever you find best. You might not need to thin it out. Different candy melts have different thicknesses. Obviously, if you put in a lot more colour, and if you want a darker colour, etc., a deeper colour, a richer colour, you're going to put more food colour in, and therefore it'll runny it out as well. Runny it out? Make it runnier? I don't know. But anyway, just use it as a rough guide, but like I say, I just wanted mine to be a little bit runnier because I knew I wanted to be able to manipulate it around the greaseproof paper, which meant needing a runny consistency. If you're using normal white chocolate, you'll need to temper it. You can do that in the microwave. There is a microwave technique for that. If you just Google it, you'll find it. Or on the hob, but it is tricky, and to be honest, for something like this, candy melts are perfectly fine. I've always got a cupboard full of candy melts, and white chocolate as well, and milk chocolate and dark chocolate, but candy melts are just so easy. So once we've left them in the fridge for 10 to 15 minutes, make sure they're fully set. We're just going to loosen them off the paper. If you've got really tight bits underneath, then they will be really tricky to get out, so you need to be really gentle. Like I say, I broke mine up anyway and used it in shards, but if you want to keep it whole, you can do. And this is the second one. This has got slightly fewer fans in it, but it is taller. So this is the one that went at the back, and we kept this mostly whole. Okay, and there you go. It's that easy. And then, like I say, I used a mix of luster dust and dipping solution just to spatter some gold over the top of this, and you're ready to go. It's a super easy and effective way to achieve a nice decor on your cake that adds a bit of extra height and a bit of extra dimension without a lot of work, if you understand me. You know, you're not doing loads of hours of work to achieve that extra decor on there, but it just gives it something a little bit extra. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please come back and watch some more, and watch all my old videos as well, because they pay me. Thanks, bye.